Chart update 22nd April. A lot can change in 12 hours. We will be changing our focus, but the chart updates will continue. We need to get out to more people, and I invite you to do your best to support that. 1 hour on prime time, and it's all over. For now, I'll be focusing on a report so that even if I can't shut down this tsunami of falsehood, we may improve the sheeple's mental immunity against the next invented lie. We're going to be joined today by two special guests, New York City and the state of New York. I decided to look at their data, and at first it looked good. Then I looked more closely and realized it was absurd. That's New York over 1 million at the top of the screen. Let's go linear scale just to get a sense of how absurd that is. Yep, when you normalize to 100 million population, New York City is up at 1.5 million cases. It dwarfs Italy, once the worst hit country in the world. It is 10 times the continental USA ex New York. It is 3 times as bad as Iceland, by far the worst hit nation in the world. Its daily cases exceed Hubei total cases, exceed the continental USA's total cases ex New York. All when you actually look at it based on a rational, normalized population. And it's in lockdown, yet it's showing a fully developed contagion far exceeding any other nation, but with bizarre peaks and a rocket launch initial acceleration. We did a time to height calculation. Despite starting 2 weeks behind the rest of the USA, it had caught up within 2 weeks and exceeded, literally not normalized, exceeded the total case of 310 million Americans on the 15th day. Where the normal virus achieved acceleration of 25 to 30% per day, the Cuomo virus was on 50%, rising exponentially at 50%. The exception to the no exponential rule that I'll allow, as it gives us an easy measure, it left the continental USA standing. In the virus race, the US has a gifted chief virus designer in Governor Cuomo. His Cuomo virus is without question leaving all other viruses in the dust. The only problem is it's supposed to be the same virus. Here you can see how many times worse hit New York has been at top using declared totals, and at bottom by considering the post-lockdown figures only. Continental USA, that's without New York, versus our prime selected countries that we follow on a daily basis is between 0.5 and 1.6 times. Perfectly reasonable. The Cuomo virus is between 4 and 17 times worse, and that 17.7 is against Canada, right next door. And in lockdown, the only people supposed to be vulnerable are critical workers. So we reduce the population by 4, but also use only the post-lockdown figures. Based on the critical workers, 25% of population, just a number, getting hit using only post-lockdown, net of pre-lockdown, the state of New York is between 22 and 73 times worse off. Again, 73.8 is against Canada. Whatever has hit New York, it is not the coronavirus, and so I've labelled it the Cuomo virus. I won't call Herr Cuomo a liar, but I also won't believe a thing out of that state until I see 70% of claimed cases on camera, on oath, individually giving depositions that yes, they were recorded as coronavirus, and yes, they had symptoms of the virus as far as they're aware. At the very least, the situation is so absurd that auditors, the FBI, regular citizens should have flocked to New York long ago to get answers. And no, don't trust anyone that works for the government or is commissioned by the government. Empty hospitals the day after the cameras. Italian news footage used as American hospital footage. Need I say more? Go check out the daily New York health briefings and go check out the World Health Organization reports. Take off 20 million for New York State, that's 310 million people in the US versus New York State 20 million. Do the math. Now on a lighter note, the UK government, remarkably, is allowing us our peak and post-peak. Those last two data points were dead on the projected and original growth decay line for the UK. Bear in mind it's the same line it's always been since before lockdown. As ever, lockdown has not avoided a single case, not prevented a single death. The virus continues as if lockdown didn't exist. If someone was to say, oh, it would be worse without lockdown, you're not listening. It's a virus, not zombie apocalypse. It doesn't think, it does its thing, and it has done its thing unchanged since we first got it. The US is living a lie. The UK is living a lie. Want to bet Canada, no normal until the vaccine, is living a lie? The only thing stopping you getting out of your homes is you. And don't take mistakes were made as an answer. The only place all our politicians and institutions belong is in jail. Every organ of the state, without exception, has colluded in the crime against you. Do not forget that. So I'd love to meet the civil servant that's using my data because yet again the UK curve matches perfectly with the no lockdown projection. It's insane, but it's official. Lockdown has done zero. Algeria, on its lonesome, curling over, a bit linear, but daily cases going down, sort of. Not ideal, but not an issue. Oz and Kiwis chipper, going down massively, a bit like their democracy. Mandatory vaccines, huh? Mandatory pitchforks would be my reply. Barbados and South Africa, Barbados killing it, not the other way round, awesome. South Africa, too linear, too long, but still at a low level. Belgium, Portugal, high, but daily cases show level for Belgium, level to declining for Portugal. Time to close it out. Canada, that's a weird looking horizontal peak, or not peak, might have to look at that. Brazil, a rare case of a country not yet at peak. Not alarming given the level, but would like to see progress. Denmark, fine, again, extended peak. Seem to be a bunch of those. Politicians playing silly buggers. Iceland, meanwhile, massively, relative terms, hit, but dropping like a stone. Excellent. Finland, another extended peak. Greece, what the? Let me check. Yes, it's real. We'll watch with interest. Germany, Norway, closing out nicely. Hungary, sort of at peak, like to get that coming down. Thailand, excellent job. India, hint of curl maybe, still at a very low level. Israel, great job, coming down. Iran, nice descent, keep it up, or down. Iraq likewise, send a copy to Cheney. Malta looks good, keep it coming down. Netherlands, another extended peak. Really going to have to look at that. Mexico climbing, but from a low level. A rare not at peak country, but not alarming. Just time to head down, please. Ecuador, if that turns into peak and down, great. Philippines, great, coming down. Indonesia at peak, let's see it coming down. Poland, extended peak. Croatia, showing how it's supposed to be done and well below Hubei. Bravo. Malaysia, great, nice down. Singapore, what the? Massive curl up, that is seriously not good. We'll watch with some concern. Spain and France, nice, coming down, and I wondered what that would look like in linear, so what looks like a modest decline on the log chart is actually well developed, down at about 50% of peak in both cases. Bravo. Sweden, the country that even the most ardent lockdownists are afraid of, especially, not a threat, extended peak, nail it and nail lockdown. Turkey, not bad, extended peak. Where have I heard that before? Russia, maybe that's a curl over, if so, highly desired. UAE, blah. Again, a rare not at peak. Pakistan likewise, but very low level. Taiwan racing down to catch Vietnam. Maybe it's worried what happens if Vietnam digs too deep. Vietnam is over, another chart for Cheney. That's it. Chat with the universe tomorrow, Friday. Camelot Castle has been in touch, possible appearance. Give me 1 hour, that would be, or should be, on prime time, and I'll shut this whole thing down. In the meantime, I'll keep the chart updates going, and likely otherwise will be focused on the report. I realized last night that it's now 1 month of work, sleep, work. Kind of explains why my body and mind are shutting down. You've been great, are great, and I'll do my best to honor that. Just do me a favor. Get me that primetime slot or similar in a newspaper, hell, anywhere. Let's get the message out. I'm still Andrew Mather, 60-year-old Brit, mathematician, financier, technologist, husband, biker, pilot, healer, whatever. Feel free to get in touch, andrew@peerlessreads.com or andrew@amather.com. Either should get to me.